Welcome back. It's Tuesday night. Let's see how much more we can do on the 8N here. It's a little bit later. I think it's about 8:30 at night by the time that I got in the shop here, so I probably only have about an hour, so we'll see how far we get. My focus is just going to be on everything you can see in the picture here. So first thing I'm going to try and do is get rid of this rotten battery box. See where we go from here. So when I put the transmission back on, I left the top two bolts out. Looks like the air cleaner's mounted straight on it. We'll see what's connecting it here. Alright, I guess I'll take the air cleaner off. First, let's go to 916. Put the bolts back in the holes so that I can find them when it comes time to put things back together later. There's one bolt holding us to the steering column. It looks like that's all that's holding this guy up. Okay, I'm going to repeat on the other one and I'll be right back with the other part. Okay, also stole this spring off of the other tractor. Helps give some balance to the throttle here. Additionally, while this is open, no better time to hook this up, which is my governor rod, so probably a whole lot easier without everything in the way. Now, why is that facing the wrong way? Because the other end's not on either. Okay. Well, let's feed this in where it has to be. Actually, that end is stuck. Yeah, I'm going to get some penetrating oil and see if I can free this up, because that's not doing anybody any favors right now. Looks like it's packed full of junk there, so either we'll get this moving or we'll grab the one off the other tractor, but that's not going to work going to the governor. Grab the other one off the other tractor. It seems in a lot better shape all around. Oh, I have to feed it through properly on the inside of that oil line. Now the end that you can't see me messing with from your angle right now is at the governor. It's on there, and it's on there. So now, all right, so we should have throttle hooked up there. Okay, next. This oil gauge, as you can see from the front of the gauge, I honestly don't believe that this tractor has 20 pounds of oil pressure right now, especially considering it hasn't run in about 6 months and the other end of the oil pressure line is disconnected. So something tells me that that gauge may not quite be accurate, and as such I will replace it with the one that I know works. All right, that's off. I'll go get the one off of the other one and I'll be right back to install it. All right, I have the gauge from the other tractor with the proper oil pressure reading on it. And through the magic of television, 3, 2, 1. Whoa, cool. Okay, so that's in. And look, it's even hooked up on the other end here. Awesome. I wish I could do more things by just snapping my fingers. All right. Normally there would be a voltage regulator here. We're not going to transfer the one over from the other one because we're going to put an alternator on this tractor instead and run 12 volt. And the 12 volt alternator has the regulator built into it. So I think next thing I'm going to do is put the air cleaner back on here. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to replace this choke. It's the ugly choke handle on there. The line's all bent up. I'm going to grab the one from the other tractor and we'll toss that in here. Basically, this should just screw off of the end. So I'll grab a wrench here, get you guys back in the holder, and we'll get that replaced. Conveniently, it looks like this just has a little screw hook on the end. Crack that off. There's a second 3/8 bolt on here, or nut on here. I'll take off. Or else it's not going to fit through the dash. There we go. Out with the old. And I'm just going to put the nuts back on it just because, who knows, if I get another tractor someday and it has no choke, this would be better than nothing, I guess. Always save my old parts. Sure, it's convenient having an entire spare right here. Here's the other choke. I took this off the other day. It's much nicer looking end. And just so you can see where we're going with this, feeding it through the hole here. Actually, the other end down where it needs to go first, so you're never going to get it back otherwise. Feed that through the front. There. It should sit nicely. Screw on my handle. And right now there's no carburetor here, so there's nothing to hook it onto at the other end. But when we do get the carburetor on here, we've got our choke. This is the tractor, or this is the steering tower from the tractor anyways, that I made the video about the safety switch that drives me nuts when people install these other switches. So that's going to be the first thing to go. This is just a push button that they had connected to start the tractor. Looking like this was probably used as an ignition switch. None of that's right, so it's going to come out. We're going to take the stuff from the other one, swap her over. So we'll start with the keys here. This is just sitting in here loose to begin with. Of course, I never throw anything out, so I will keep this switch because you never know when you can use a nice little momentary contact switch for something. Alright, I'll go remove the one from the other one and I'll be right back. So there we go, we got a keyed switch. It's much better now. It's not going to be the same wires I hooked up to this because this activated your solenoid. So let's not do that one. It'll be some of these guys that come over to this block. We'll figure those out after. For now, we'll just get it into the hole. Looks like we need to enlarge the hole just a little touch. We have the technology. Alright, a lot of things that you'll see me do, you'll be, what is this idiot doing? The one thing you won't see me do is mess around with eye protection. Make sure you wear your goggles whenever you're doing any sort of grinding or anything like that. Your eyes are irreplaceable. Alright, let's see if that gave us our room here. There we go. Just needed that little bit. There we go. Good old pliers, good enough. Alright, next, let's replace this switch. I've got my light switch in that spot on the other tractor. So this is just a toggle switch. My other one's a pull switch, and I know that it's working, and I like the pull instead of the toggle, so that's what I'm going to put on this. I'm not too concerned about the wiring. I have a whole brand new harness to put on here. Actually, I wonder if I can get those off nicely instead of cutting it. Just in case I need to reuse some of these little wires because they won't come with the harness, I'd have to make them. This switch has had the biscuit anyways, it's all falling apart. Okay, we got our switch from the other tractor. Put it in here. Now this ammeter. This ammeter looks pretty gross. Now I'd purchased a brand new one for the W6, and I think it'll fit in here. And I think this needs it worse than the W6 at this point. So I'll have to order another one for the W6 when I finally get around to fixing it. It's sitting with Christmas lights on now, so it's not getting touched for a while. Also, we're probably going to have to pause on the 8N videos for a little bit soon. The camshaft for the Galaxie has shown up. So I'm going to focus on getting this thing mobile. Probably not running, but at least mobile in the next day or two. Really, all I have to do is replace the right rear tire. And I should be able to roll this thing around a whole lot easier again. And I'll clean up my shop a little bit, and we'll be back working on the Galaxie, getting that new camshaft in there. Everything back together, back into the car. Truth be told, I enjoy working on that much less than the tractors. Much more finicky work, especially for an amateur. But we will figure our way through. Yeah, that's definitely seen better days. Let me go see what I got. Okay, I cannot find my ammeter anywhere, so we're just gonna skip that for now. I'll leave that open. I know I have one. It's not in the box that I thought it was in. Probably find it cleaning up the shop here. So. All right, let's put our air cleaner back on. Hey Google, what time is it? Yeah, it's getting close to call it a night. Maybe another one of these inch forward nights. I think tomorrow night will be the make mobile and move out. And then the rest of the repairs on this will wait until after we get the Galaxie out of here. And we've got some room to work. Believe it or not, it's not too far from running. Needs a wiring harness installed. We need to install the alternator, starter, a couple little odds and ends, but really it's not that far away from running. I guess installing the carburetor would be important too. And the hood with the fuel tank. Kind of optional. You can hook up something else for a fuel tank. Oh, and I think I'm missing the distributor cap on this one. I stole it for the loader tractors. Okay, maybe it's not so close to running. But should have all the parts on hand that are needed. So. So normally I would use a jack on the back, but since I've got the cherry picker sitting above it already, I just hooked it to the back axle. That'll be enough to lift it up. You can see this tire is seen a lot better days, so we're just going to swap it with the ones off of the parts tractor. Now the other tractor came with the fenders off, and those tires are one size larger than the factory. So these things came with, looks like they were 10/28s, and I think the ones that are on the other tractor are 11/2/28s or 12/4/28s, something like that. So they're a little taller, so we'll see. We might have to take the fenders off, put those on, in which case then I'll just have to build some spacers. Let's get this off and get the next one on. Looks absolutely fine. There's lots of clearance there for those fenders, so I'm not sure what they were talking about on the other one. I'm still going to replace this fender. There's a big hole I can put my hand through on it, but that'll be later on. Right now we're just looking to get this mobile again. So I move it out of the shop and get back on the Galaxie for a while, and then we'll pull this back in later in the year. You know, it's pretty decent when you can be outside in these clothes in December in Winnipeg. It's December the 6th. It was 6 degrees Celsius out today. Gorgeous, gorgeous for December. Alright, looks like I have to go up just about a half an inch. Too far. Okay, show you her new shoes. Those are some nice looking tires. That was the entire, or one of the larger reasons that I bought that parts tractor is because the tires that were coming on it, especially this one, are great. But yeah, there's lots of room between the fender. Not sure what they're talking about at the sale or why they took the fenders off the other one, but there's that hole I was talking about in this one. I got a good set of fenders sitting outside for this thing, so we'll swap that over. So yeah, I guess now I'll just put my tools away. Probably sneak that hood back in here, set it on top, and then this is going to have to get rolled outside because this came in the mail. So that's the camshaft and lifters for the 65 Ford Galaxie convertible. So I would really like to get this engine back together so that I can get it back in there, get this thing running, get this out of my shop so I can focus on this, finishing this off, making it pretty. I can't really paint with the big banana in here, especially with the cloth top. It's already getting dusty enough just sitting in here. I'd hate to see if I started painting somewhere else in the room. But yeah, we get this together, out, get the car fixed, out, get this back in, finish it off, and then I'm on to the W6. So it should be an interesting winter.